Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on the Train the Trainer podcast once again. Today, we have a very special guest with us. We have been inviting lots of trainers and training professionals whom we have been interviewing and understanding the methodologies that they follow in their training and what they would recommend to their students and so on. And today, we have someone who is not only a trainer, she is also a homeopathic doctor. Our guest today, Dr. Vatul Janani Mukundan, is a BHMS qualified medical professional with an MBA in Health Services Management from Anna University. She has also done her certification in digital marketing from IIM Jammu, and she is also a CELTA qualified English language trainer. I sometimes wonder if there is anything that she hasn't done yet. With her diverse career spanning clinical practice, healthcare management, and education, she brings a unique blend of medical expertise and training with experience. She has served as a medical officer with insurance firms where she was responsible for evaluating policyholders and assessing medical risk with precision and care. In addition to her clinical and corporate experience, she is a passionate educator and trainer. As a certified English language trainer and former corporate trainer at the British Council, she has specialized in training healthcare professionals. She has successfully coached doctors and nurses for the OET, Occupational English Test, enabling over 160 nurses to secure placements in the UK under the MH project. And I'd also like to let you know that she has worked extensively with speakers of Spanish, teaching English to them. She has worked with several teachers from Mexico as well. With that said, I would also like to add that she's a good singer. I have seen some of her videos where she sings some of the beautiful Tamil songs. With that said, Dr. Vatul Janani Mukundan, thank you so much for joining us here, Vatul.
Thank you so much for this lovely introduction, Balaji. And Balaji, I remember initially I reached out to you on LinkedIn, and honestly, you're a wonderful person, wonderful trainer. And I saw your profile, I saw this British Council there, and I saw some of your videos, and I reached out, and we found something common. Do you remember?
Yes,
We both are from different backgrounds, and
true.
we ended up teaching English. So, I always I come to you for feedback, suggestions, advice because you're upfront and straightforward. That's the best part. So thank you so much. So lovely. I'm here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Yes, I too had a chance to connect with you only over LinkedIn. I saw all that you had done. I saw so many things, MBA, management professional, healthcare specialist, and doctor, and also an English language teacher. So I was quite intrigued that when I saw your profile, and that's one of the reasons why I also wanted to connect with you. And we have been able to help each other in great ways. Now to start with the questions, Vatul, before we talk about your experience as a teacher, I'd like to know about your experience being a homeopathy doctor. How long did you practice? Where did you practice? And do you intend to get back to it anytime?
Yes, I still practice, but
Hmm.
I don't have an official clinical setup. But
Okay.
I was practicing I have been practicing medicine for quite a long time, and I've not shifted away from it. I'm expanding my career in terms of teaching or whatever I'm doing right now. So I've not shifted away. People wonder why have I shifted away from this beautiful science. So homeopathy is my identity, remains my identity, and I love this medicine. And holistically, it treats so many diseases and conditions. And I have had first-hand experience. As a user or I have consumed, I have taken homeopathic medicines. I have used homeopathic medicines for many years, and those days you didn't have NEET with your 12th grade exam, and then there was a common entrance test. Then I had two options. dentistry and homeopathy. So I wanted to go for homeopathy because I've been using that medicine and I know how effective it. I'm a first-hand user, so I know how effective this medicine is. So I made a go of it, and it worked out very well. So I am practicing. I treat psoriasis, I treat diabetes, I treat heart conditions, kidney failures, and I've worked with some very senior professionals in this field, and I've learned loads of things from them. So, that's my identity. That remains my identity. Yes.
So that's wonderful. Um, and can you tell me, like, do you want to start a clinical practice again?
Yes, I'm planning to do that because I was relocating due to personal reasons
Mm-hmm.
and family reasons. I was relocating, and when you relocate and when you don't have a constant base where you can set up a clinic, it's kind of difficult because you lose those customers. So you'll lose the customer base, and now that I'm here in Chennai for quite some time, I'm planning to establish my practice. So, yes, of course,
That's
it's
wonderful.
in pipeline.
Okay. So now, just like, it's time the kids are going to look at, I mean, the people who graduate from school, they are going to look at options at college, or even the teenage kids who are in ninth grade or 10th grade are going to think about their career. So I would like to know from you, if anyone watching this or their kids would like to take up homeopathy medicine, what advice would you give to them?
Go for it. It's a beautiful science, and you need consistency, persistence, perseverance. Case taking is quite detailed here, so you should have that passion to help people, and you need to put in effort, understand, because it's a 5.5 years coursework.
Mhm.
It's not a short-term course, so it's not 4 years or 3 years. It's 5.5 years with 6 months internship. So it's a beautiful science. There are various career options right now, and it's a booming field right now. So people can plan. If you're planning to do medicine, you can opt for it. Or if you have first-hand experience taking this medicine, using this medicine, please go ahead, do this medicine. It's a beautiful science. It's a holistical science. And we don't treat the symptoms. We treat the disease. We treat the condition. Condition as in the root cause of the condition. So mental symptoms are very important. So practice interdisciplinary as well, like psychology, a bit of psychology required, and there are other interdisciplinary like backflower and other things. So try incorporating them, and I think it's a very good field, and if it's a rewarding one, it's a fulfilling and rewarding one. So the same
Yes.
time, it's not just fulfilling, it's rewarding. And if you practice with dedication, you will succeed. So that's
Right.
all I can say.
You mentioned that there are multiple career options in this field. Can you throw some light on that, please?
Yeah, sure. So you can become a medical officer in insurance firms. I was doing that personally, and you can work as I wouldn't say sonologist, but sonography. You can practice sonography, and you need a certification for that, of course. You can work as a medical coder. You can practice in other countries like UAE. They have some exams and regulations and complaints. So if you take that test and pass that, you can practice over there. And I think in Canada you need to it's very very good in Canada. The practice
Mhm.
people are practicing there. So I think there is a licensure or some kind of exam there. I'm not very sure, some certification. So you need to get certified, and you can practice in
Mhm.
Canada as well. In the US, I don't think you can practice, but people are practicing from what I heard. There is something called complementary medicine, and they do that certificate. They certify, and they get certified, and then they practice. So there are a lot of opportunities in the UK, in NHS. Some time back, they were hiring paramedical assistant, ambulance services, for ambulance services. I'm not sure about the designation, but BHMS doctors went there.
Mm-hmm.
They did some kind of training, and they went there. So there are a lot of career opportunities, but do practice. Uh, it's rewarding. And when patients come to you and tell you, how satisfied and how they feel after the medication, so that's when you can, rejoice and understand whatever you've studied has been fruitful, and that's the best part. I think practice is the best part. Yeah.
I do remember that I guess you have been on some TV channels as well, giving interviews about
Yeah, yeah,
homeopathic medicine and your
true.
practice. Well, Vatul, you mentioned about something called sonography. Uh, what is
Yeah.
that?
Sonography is, you scan the heart and abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
So there are courses for that.
Okay.
Uh, so you can do such courses, but you're not authorized to sign. You can work under a sonologist, radiologist.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Now let's talk about teaching. How did you get into medicine and then into teaching?
Okay. Teaching, I think it's a true serendipity. I just saw this CELTA course, but before that, I'll tell you a little background of how this happened. So we moved to Bangalore, and there I wasn't practicing because I'd taken a break because it's a new place, and we were settling in. So that time, one of my friends, he asked me if I could teach some doctors and nurses English language, general English, and IELTS as well. So I started teaching. So it started as a hobby, or just I gladly took up that opportunity. But then I later realized I was skirting around questions, dodging questions, because you know how challenging grammar, and how, given how nuanced English is, uh, I found it challenging. Some questions I wasn't able to answer, and I felt I was a fluent speaker. I know the language, but I was mistaken there, and I didn't. I was wrong there. I didn't know how to explain certain things. So and then I stumbled upon this CELTA course. Uh, then it was the lockdown period, basically. Then I stumbled upon this course, and it's a true serendipity, I would say, because after the course I learned the teaching methodology, and I knew nothing. I had no idea. So I was a clinical practitioner and transitioned into an educator. So you can imagine how challenging, and you would have faced similar things, right? Like fossilized
Mhm.
errors, grammar nuances, grammar aspects. And I realized, as non-native speakers, though we are fluent, we we tend to make, or we try to avoid them. We consciously try to avoid them and internalize those aspects, but still, without exposure, uh, I think we did make a lot of mistakes, right? Like discuss about so many words, so many collocations, and prepositional errors, pronunciation errors. So I realized how nuanced and how different the language is when you teach students. As a learner, you don't perceive or grasp, or pick up a few things. So you just learn the language to get on in your career, get ahead in your career, or do well in your exams. But the language is pretty nuanced, and you have to understand the details, and the concepts clearly, and you have to internalize it to teach someone. So I found the language itself. to be I wouldn't say weird, but it is different, from what we know, and what it is actually. It's not a phonetic language. The spelling and the pronunciation, they are quite different. It's not a time stressed language. So how it is, and syllable stress, the errors, and everything. This challenged me, and this challenged my perception. And later I realized I need to equip myself to be a better teacher. And this shaped me as a person, as an individual, as a teacher. And I learned a lot. And I blossomed in this process. So I became a better teacher, I would say. And that burning desire to really help these students, and I think I'm sure you'll agree with me agree with me on this, because this is what we all face, right? To help them, that really real
Absolutely.
desire, the genuine desire to help these students. And we cater to different students and to different needs. And being a test prep trainer, it's even more challenging, because students think it's an overnight process. And it's very difficult to tell them it's not strategies, it's not techniques, it is
What
the
is it
language
about?
itself. Yeah, what is it about exactly? So it's not very easy to convince them, tell them I've paid for this training and I need results. But you know how difficult it could be to explain it to them. It's not about the techniques and the tricks. You have to understand the language, like just like how you learned your first language. You listen, then you started speaking, and then reading. So yeah, I think it was quite challenging to teach and also to explain it to them. So, yeah.
Got you. You have worked with a lot of Mexican students and Spanish speaking students.
Hmm.
How different
True.
is it from teaching Indian students?
Okay. Indian students are uh, hesitant, I would say. Spanish speakers, I wouldn't say they don't learn it, but they learn it at school, but I don't think they use it. Uh, they don't use the language much. They they always speak in their regional language or their first language, and they prefer it that way. Even teachers, I think the classroom is a multilingual setup these days, and teachers should understand this. The context has changed over the years. It's not English, it is a culture. It's a cultural thing, I believe. So whoever is teaching, they should also be sensitive about their culture. They should know their culture, immerse themselves, understand their audience. And also, I believe mm, this multilingual that I was talking about. So they draw on their own language repertoire. So repertoire
Mhm.
in the sense they have their own regional or first language repertoire in their head, and it's quite difficult to get through that. No, tell them,
Mm.
okay, you shouldn't think in your language, but the Spanish teachers do it so well. They have a strong accent. They have a strong Spanish accent, but they are very humble and grounded, and they have no airs and grace. Okay, so that's something I love about them. Hospitable, and I learned a lot from the peer teachers, because I'm not from Mexico, and I don't know
Can you
many
tell us a
many of
little
their
bit about what you
cultural
learned
things.
from them?
Yeah. So Spanish speakers, they are confident in a classroom. Uh,
Mm.
they do make grammatical errors, but in unlike Indian speakers are hesitant because they thrive for perfection. It's
I was
I think
asking
it
more
is
about what you learned from the Spanish teachers than the.
Spanish teachers. Okay, so coming back to your question, so Spanish teachers, I learned we used to have these group sessions in where the Spanish teachers, we all were put. It was not just Spanish teachers. We had American teachers, many American teachers, in fact. So we had a lot of breakout room activities, and we exchanged our ideas. They used a lot of gamified apps like quizzes, Padlet, and whatnot. A lot of gamified applications. So I learned how to use them. Word Walnut, and they used to share it. That's the best part. They shared them in the WhatsApp on the WhatsApp group. So that was the best part. So they were willing to help you. And I learned a lot of stuff because we had quality assurance also. They used to get into our sessions and observe our sessions and see how it's going, how it's happening, and they used to give us feedback as well. So these feedback, I learned a lot from their feedback because we learned flipped classroom and how to do that, how to practice flipped classroom, and also I there was one particular situation where I was teaching A1 level students, and our pace, I was too fast, and not too fast, but I was not slow.
Hmm.
So that was the issue. They called me personally and we had one-on-one consultation, and this was a senior trainer there. So she told me, I think you are teaching students at A1 level and you don't know Spanish, so you cannot use that here. So probably slow it down, chunks of info, break it down, and don't use lengthy sentences, sophisticated words, fancy words. No, simple English. So you're trying to convey something, and they should understand what you're trying to say. So they must understand that. That's the whole point there. So the bottom line is the communication, I guess. Communicating the right way. So it's based on your audience. If your audience requires that kind of language level, well and good. But if they are at a lower level, obviously you're not proving or showcasing something, right?
Perfect.
So, yeah,
For the benefit of our viewers, can you tell us what is flipped classroom?
perfect. Okay. Flipped classroom is you don't teach everything in the classroom itself. So you give some components as but you give them as an activity, or I wouldn't say homework, maybe assignment, and they watch a video, they pre-read something, and then they come to the class. So they are aware, they know what it is, and they know certain things. And then when you introduce the concept, it's easier that way. So I think Spanish speakers, it's ingratiating and yourself, immersing yourself in their culture because they're very culturally attached, just like Indians. So yeah, this is
Okay.
about flipped classroom.
So you mentioned something about their culture that they are more open to speaking. They don't worry about
Yes, yes.
the mistakes. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the culture?
About their culture, as I told you, they are warm, friendly, hospitable, ready to learn, and they know language is a slow process, and they are not expecting you to do some kind of magic or miracle in the class. They know the difficulty level, and they know their level as well. They are very well aware. They don't assume things. And one more thing with them is they help each other in the classroom, help their peers, and they're very friendly. Sometimes they digress from the topic, but they are sweet learners, I would say.
Lovely. Well, Vatul, we have been talking about the students and teachers, but now I would like to know, how did you learn English?
Okay, so I think my experience with the language goes back to my schooling days. So in our school, we had library hour, and it was taken seriously. So we used to borrow books, and we used to read them, and I learned a lot of words,
Hmm.
Like Nancy Drew, Famous Five, and
Yes.
then Agatha Christie, so many books. I don't read much these days. I wasn't an avid reader before, also, but that peer pressure, everyone used to borrow, so I had to. So then I learned a lot of things, because in my house also, my father used to read these
Hmm.
newspapers 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Hard to believe, but he used to read it that way. And then a dictionary, we had this small dictionary, and I used to find the meaning of these words, write it down.
Hmm.
That's how I learned the language. I believe I was a fluent speaker until I enrolled in the CELTA course, where I realized I don't know a lot of things, and I tried to work on my language. So this is my experience with the language. Um, yeah. So I
Thank you
think
so
reading
much.
improves your language. Reading, from my experience,
Certainly.
I think reading and the vocabulary that you learn, that is the lexical resource that you hold and retain. So that improves your language. Yeah.
Certainly. Vatul, I would like to know. I have been training working professionals mostly for their workplace communication, and a lot of them, they just go quiet when they are in a meeting. They don't know what to say sometimes. They don't know how to share their ideas. They either become quiet or they just blabber something in the meetings. Or
Yeah.
the bottom line is they are not happy with how they are performing in the meetings,
Good.
or how they communicate at the workplace. What would be your recommendation for such working professionals who want to work on their communication skills?
Okay. So I think practice over perfection, one thing. So speak the language, practice more. I generally teach shadowing technique.
Hmm.
So this helps to some extent, but again, and watching movies. This is, I think, a cliche kind of a thing. People do say this, but so understanding what I do in my classroom, I'll tell you.
Hmm.
People complain. They say we are still not able to talk about things, express ourselves. So I tell them, now you know collocation, you know phrasal verb, now you know idioms. Now consciously use them, and observe them. When a native speaker is talking about something, or if they observe a conversation, try to observe these consciously. It's a conscious effort, I think. This speaking the language, speaking English is a conscious effort. And awareness, being aware of a lot of things, I think. So you need a teacher or a trainer like you who will boost their confidence. I think that's important, because we are non-native speakers and we lack certain ideas. Our ideas are limited.
Hmm.
Even if they are a fluent speaker of the language, they don't know certain things. Okay, so that's why we use a lot of incorrect prepositions, articles, because we don't know what are these. We know, so use of English is more important than learning the grammar concepts. Okay, and grammar shouldn't be forced. So I think a lot of things are there, but I believe practicing the language, practicing and listening to native speakers, that goes without saying, because that's where you'll pick up the words, the phrases, the natural use of language. And shadowing is something that I told you. So pause, repeat. So if you, there are shadowing videos on YouTube as well. So native speakers speak, and then you pause, you repeat. It's not for the accent. I'm not talking about accent here. I'm talking about the language itself. So the stress patterns, the syllable patterns, and where to pause. Uh, so these are very important. You need not have an accent or put on an accent. An accent, I don't believe in that. You should be a fluent speaker, and you should be able to express yourselves. You want to be, if you want to be a fluent speaker, then I think you have to watch native English speakers' conversation, immerse yourself in their culture. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go to England or go to the UK to learn the language. It's not required. So now we have a lot of platforms and resources to do this,
Absolutely.
right? So, and Preply is one app where you can practice with native speakers as well.
Hmm.
And also CELTA certified trainers like you. So you boost their confidence for sure. Because
Yes.
students have told me, we didn't know this. We didn't know it was this uh, deep, and they don't know, because obviously, like how I learned, how I understood the concepts after I
Hmm.
started teaching. That's how it was. I felt, I know the language. I can understand native English speakers. I speak fluently, but that's not it. I think understanding the nuances, understanding the language itself requires time and conscious effort. I
Very
hope
true.
I've answered your question.
Certainly, certainly. So, to summarize, you have said three things: practice, shadowing practice with the videos where native speakers speak, and then they can pause and note down things. And you also highlighted, yeah, of course, taking
Native
one-to-one
English
classes
speakers
if
conversation and
necessary.
reading books.
Reading, yeah,
Reading
yeah,
books, magazines, articles. Yeah.
perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Vatul. You also mentioned about the lack of ideas for the people to share in those meetings. Uh, so, uh, d-
Yes.
what would help them to get more ideas that they can talk about? Sometimes they don't have the
So
content as well.
I don't believe in script, but there is a formula where I tell them that there is something called peer or tier, where you have to have a topic sentence,
Mm-hmm.
and then ex- explanation to it, example, and describe the result. Okay, so this gives you a structure, and whenever you're organizing your ideas, put it in a paper, jot it down, and then develop those ideas, build on it. Okay, so this technique actually helps. The steer technique actually helps. So there is a topic sentence that you would like to discuss in a meeting. That would be your topic sentence. Then there is an explanation to it, right? Why you want that. Then there is, for instance, some real life examples, some challenges that you're facing, and then the result. Uh, what is the result? What resolution, or what kind of resolution or solution you want for that particular issue. So not only for an issue, but you can use it in most of the situations, or most situations. Yeah, so you can use it with ease. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, very well. Thank you so much, Vatul, for helping the students, teachers, and also the teenagers and their parents to make some career choices. So, you have done three things today through this interview. Thanks a lot for adding so much value to our viewers. It really means a lot to me. Thanks a lot for being here.
My pleasure, Balaji. Lovely talking to you. It was a lovely interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.